Hi. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about showing up, and I think this is just an important thing to talk about. And I'm showing up for myself by recording this video and posting it. I've been wanting to get this out since December of last year, and now it's already May. And so I'm showing up for myself by actually doing this. But yeah, let's get sort of into it. There's a few things, and I want to talk about. I have a few thoughts. They're kind of a little bit all over the place, but hopefully there's some good takeaways. And so I wanted to start with, so showing up can mean a lot of different things for different people. It could be actually physically showing up, or showing up for yourself by actually doing something that you wanted to do and allowing yourself to grow. Having that discipline and doing something that might be a little bit hard or something that you're unmotivated to do, I really believe is a form of self-love in itself. And so if you show yourself that you're actually going to commit to the things you say you're going to do, you're improving your self-love and self-respect, in my opinion. And that can be just so important moving forward and continuing on in life and helping yourself grow throughout. And also, just life has an abundance of offerings and opportunities, and you never know what you might find or what opportunity you might get by just showing up. There's just so much abundance, and sometimes it's hidden, and sometimes we just might not be aware of it until we actually show up for things. And I sort of have a personal story for this at a small scale, but I had a school club meeting, and my dad had suggested actually not to go because finals were coming up, and he was like, maybe it's best if you don't go, so you can study for your finals and focus on that. And I considered it, and I was leaning actually towards not going, but something told me to go. And so I ended up going to that meeting, and it turns out that they hadn't told anyone before, but they were having officer elections, and so it was sort of impromptu. And so I ended up running for that officer position. I ended up getting it, which was amazing. And then in the future, I was able to leverage that experience, and I was eventually elected president of that school club, which opened so many more doors for me moving forward. Just saying that I was able to have that experience and lead that school club. And it's just a super small scale, but it's just an example of me showing up and being able to unlock this opportunity that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. They hadn't even told anyone that they were going to have this election. For the people who didn't show up, they had no idea. They didn't even have the opportunity to run. And so I by showing up, had that opportunity. And so that brings me to another point where there are people who might not be as qualified as you are. They might not work as hard as you do. They might not be as smart as you are. And this is not to shame those people in any way, but I'm just saying there are people who are not as qualified as you are, but are getting the things that you want because they're showing up. They're willing to do some things that make them uncomfortable. They're willing to do things and go to lengths that you might previously not have been willing to do. But hopefully in the future, you're able to start showing up. And life rewards you, honestly, like with that personal example I had. If you show up for things that you actually want to do, that you're interested in, that you're passionate about, and actually have your heart in it. You might feel anxiety, you might feel scared, and that's okay. That's completely normal. Recognize that that is normal and push through that emotion and get through it. And you totally can. Your anxiety, while it feels like a lot in the moment, is not a unique emotion. Almost everyone has experienced anxiety. I don't know a single person who hasn't. And I will admit, I would consider myself a pretty anxious person. But despite that, I have continued to show up and try to push through it and put myself in situations that are even more anxiety inducing so I can get better at that and continue to improve continuously. And that has honestly opened so many opportunities for me and opened so many doors and has led to so many great things just in general. And I'm really grateful for that. And I think when you're showing up for yourself, you can also sort of consider, what would your younger self think of you? Don't care about anyone else. Think about yourself and your younger self. Would they have wanted you to show up? Probably, yeah. They would have wanted you to end up in a place where you can be the most successful person you can be. So that can also be sort of a motivating factor. Try to silence out all the outside noise and thinking about the perceptions of other people. Only think about yourself and your own perception. How will you view yourself? And how would your younger self have viewed you? And oftentimes, the pain of regret is more painful than the pain of rejection. So you want to know that you at least tried. You want to know that you showed up for yourself, you put in the best effort you could, and I promise 99% of the time you are going to be rewarded for that. There will be good things coming out of that. And so that's all I wanted to really say. Just show up for yourself and just watch how good things keep happening as you keep showing up for yourself and you create this commitment for yourself.